I recently came across the perfect Google ad strategy, which has the ability to explode your e-commerce brand to the very next level. And in this video, I want to show you exactly what this strategy is on the top of the funnel level and how it works. Now, the beauty about this ads approach is it works regardless of the niche or industry your brand is in. And instead of focusing on the nitty-gritty details, the campaign setups, this strategy actually focuses on the way your entire brand approaches Google Ads. I'll explain very shortly what I mean. But what I call this strategy, this approach, it's called the trio approach. And this approach is basically described as a 3-persona approach, which is based around 3 of your perfect customer avatar. So for the sake of this example, to explain the strategy, let's assume you are selling the product protein bars, because your brand sells protein bars, other protein products, but we're going to focus on protein bars. This trio approach, in order to implement this strategy within your Google Ads account, is as follows. Instead of just approaching your protein bar as something that is just a one lump sum approach where you have one product page with certain ad copy going after your perfect customer, we're going to divide this same product, this same landing page, across 3 different variants, 3 different people per se, because for every product out there in the market, there's different people who need that product for different reasons. They like that product because of different things, maybe because it's stylish for one person, or maybe it's because it's a necessity for another person, so on and so forth. And the worst thing most brand owners do is that they put all of these kind of necessities, all these different characteristics of the product inside of one landing page, and they hope and pray that their Google Ad strategy works. This is not how Google works, and if you want to really get and scale your brand to the very next level, the trio approach is what most brands doing $1 million a month and above are implementing at this point of time. So for example, going back to the protein bar here, if we are implementing the trio approach for that protein bar, essentially what that would mean is we have 3 different landing pages for that same exact product. So the beauty about this approach is you don't need to be doing this across multiple different products. You could literally have that same exact best-selling product or your main product, wherever it is, and have 3 different landing pages with different things going on for each of those landing pages. So because there's different things going on, it's not going to count as the same product. But essentially, the only thing different on the surface level will be the avatar of that product page or that product itself, which you are targeting. So in this case of the protein bar, avatar number 1 or persona number 1 would be somebody who's on the go, and they need this protein bar because they're always on the go and they need something to be eating while they're on the move. Persona number 2 or avatar number 2 could be a person who's bulking at the gym. So it's not really that they're on the move or they're traveling a lot, whatever it is, but rather they're in the bulking phase. They're trying to gain weight, trying to gain muscle, and this protein bar is the perfect solution for that. And then this would bring us to the 3rd persona or avatar number 3, which would essentially be a person who's maybe a little bit more lazy and who wants to use this protein bar as a meal replacement. They don't want to be cooking meals. They don't want to be going out to eat. Rather, they would just eat one protein bar in 2 minutes and that's it. They're done for the day. These are 3 different personas which you could be targeting with separate landing pages, and each of these different products can have different product images. Maybe somebody who's on the go, for that persona, you could have somebody who you showcase as somebody who's on the move while the protein bar is in their hand. In the 2nd persona, person who's bulking at the gym, somebody who's fit, somebody who's muscular is holding up the product. The 3rd persona could be just somebody who's lounging around, or maybe the product is just sitting on a table. Just a very kind of simplistic approach for that persona. These are examples, but this gives you so much room now to go out into the market and just customize your entire approach based on who you are targeting. This is what I see work for a lot of the brands I work with under my agency, which, by the way, if you run a brand doing $50,000 or more per month in revenue, you need some extra help scaling to the next level with Google Ads, go onto my website, yourmarketing.com, and schedule a completely free call with me, and let's see how we can potentially work together and make that happen. But your entire Google Ads strategy can revolve around these 3 personas, where you separately, or maybe even in the same performance max campaign for shopping placements, test all of these 3 personas, because not only will these 3 products try to rank for the same auction, but they will have the ability to get placed side by side within this auction for different even potential keywords. So it's, again, different products. That's how Google will see these 3 products. But the beautiful thing is, with search campaigns, demand gen, YouTube, now you have 3 different avenues to go about, 3 different people, 3 different audiences, and different audience sizes, hopefully, because this will give you the ability to target bigger pools of audience and bigger pockets of audience versus just going after one kind of mediocre audience in general. And again, each major product could have different landing pages, different copywriting. That should be now on you to go in and customize it based on what each individual avatar wants to read, what did they want to see, etc. But testing it side by side is the way to go, especially with different campaign types. But again, if you run a brand doing 50,000 or more per month in revenue, you need some extra help scaling to the next level with the Google Ads, go onto my website at yourmarketing.com and schedule a completely free call with me, and let's see how we can potentially work together and make that happen.